So welcome everyone. Um, Thank you for joining us at this webinar. This is our first time doing this webinar together, so we're very excited to have everyone here. All right. So I cannot believe this is finally happening because we've been preparing for this webinar since I think last year, right, Zoe?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, so we're really excited to have you all here. And before we start, let me introduce myself and Zoe from Useberry. Right, so my name is Shannon, and I'm the Senior Manager of Marketing and Partnership at ProtoPie. Nice to meet you all. And Zoe, do you want to introduce yourself briefly?
Yes, thank you, Shannon. Hi, everyone. Very excited to have you all here. I'm Zoe. I'm a demand generation manager at Useberry, and we'll be taking over the Q&A section at the end. Back to you, Shannon. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Zoe. All right, so before we start, I'd like to remind you of like a couple of things. So during this webinar, you might have a lot of questions that you want to ask about ProtoPie or about Useberry or anything, right? So you're more than welcome to ask questions about anything. But in order to do that efficiently, please make sure to use the Q&A chat that you can see on your screen. So far everyone has been, sharing where they're coming from, and there has been some conversation going on in the chat, but please use the Q&A chat specifically to ask any questions that you might have. All right, and also this is a very important reminder, actually. At the end of the webinar, we will provide a link to a survey to hear your feedback. So everyone who submits the survey will get a 20% discount coupon on individual and team plans for both ProtoPie and Useberry. So if you are already Useberry user but not a ProtoPie user, you can use the discount coupon code that we provide at the end of the webinar, so that you can try out ProtoPie and vice versa. So please make sure to stay until the end of the webinar to take part. All right. Okay, so I can see in the chat comment saying that someone cannot join in this webinar. So yeah, one of our team members will share the link. Yeah, thank you, Dave. All right, hopefully more people can join this webinar because we've got a lot of things that we would like to share with you all. All right, so here's the agenda for today's webinar. Firstly, Tony, the CEO of ProtoPie, will introduce what ProtoPie is. And then Theo, the co-founder of Useberry, will share what Useberry is, and then how you can do user testing with Useberry and everything. And after that, Darren, who's an interaction designer, ProtoPie trainer, and also design educator with more than 30 years of experience in the design industry, will present a short demo that he has prepared. And within the demo, he will show the integration, like how the integration actually works. I'm sure some of you already heard of the integration that we launched together between ProtoPie and Useberry. And then a lot of you probably wondered how you can actually use ProtoPie files in Useberry when you do the user testing. So the demo will be about that. And then it'll be followed by the Q&A session. So like I said before, please leave your comments or please leave your questions in the Q&A chat. All right, so are you ready for this amazing event? Okay, so let me pass the microphone to our CEO, Tony.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Tony, CEO and co-founder of ProtoPie. I'm really excited to be here today, to introduce ProtoPie. All right, let's get started. ProtoPie is short for prototyping as easy as pie. So actually, I used to work at Google as a designer too. So I totally understand how difficult it is to build realistic prototypes. Yeah, ProtoPie aims to empower designers to build real product-like prototypes without a line of code. Yeah, that's our philosophy behind ProtoPie. All right. In order to make this happen, I personally spent several years to research an intuitive but scalable concept model to break out all kinds of interactions and recombine them without any communication loss. So here's the outcome. So by combining object, trigger, response together, you can compose any kind of interactions. All right, let's see how it works inside ProtoPie. So here's a trigger and response. Then, on the preview, you can see it works. So this movie clip plays a bit faster. However, I believe you guys can totally understand, and you should try, right, by yourself, right? And ProtoPie's concept model is quite like a periodic table. So the world seems like having tons of elements, but it's just a variation of combination of around 70 elements. So you can see on the left hand side, you can see the triggers, which triggers interactions, and also right hand side, you can see the responses, which are visual or physical result of interactions. So you can combine these two parts and assign object together. You can build any kind of interactions. Right. ProtoPie's another big advantage is that you can utilize sensors and native functionalities built in smart devices such as camera, native keyboard, haptic engine, accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity sensor, and more. Yeah, of course, you can use the voice interactions as well. And you can build interactive prototypes using Studio at your laptop, and then you can play them on your on the real device using Player. Then finally, you can upload to share your prototypes with your team members. Of course, you can share your the components you already made with your colleague designers, and they can quickly jumpstart design. Designing the prototypes. ProtoPie has own native engine to render prototypes on the real devices. Therefore, ProtoPie can support various types of digital devices, such as smartwatch. It is the world first, and actually without ProtoPie, there's no prototyping tool for the smartwatch. And as I mentioned, you can share your prototypes through the cloud, and your team members can leave comments on the right-hand side, and also they can check alternative versions on the bottom left. Of course, you can scan the QR code, then play the prototypes on your real device. I mean the smartwatch, smartphone as well. And Team Plan and Enterprise Plan offer handoff feature for your engineer, named Interaction Recipe, and it shows parameters describing interactions. Then your engineers can easily grab them and start coding. All right, then let's watch what you can make with ProtoPie. So ready to enjoy? You can make website, mobile apps, and also, you can make some casual games, and I do make Angry Birds. And realistic OLED, and you can integrate with hardware as well. Yeah, it's cool, right? I want to see it again. Right. ProtoPie's vision is prototyping all digital products. So unlike other tools in the market, yeah, ProtoPie covers not only smartphone and desktop, but also IoT, smart appliance, smartwatch, kiosk, yeah, automotive, and more. So actually, we have many automotive customers, including BMW, Daimler, Audi, Volkswagen, Lucid Motors, Rivian, Honda, Toyota, yeah, from all over the world. For automotive and smart appliance like industries, we have special solutions, and it includes ProtoPie Connect, which is the powerful and flexible extension of ProtoPie. So using ProtoPie Connect. So using ProtoPie Connect, you can integrate with custom hardware or external APIs. So I brought a short demo video for automotive solution. Let's watch together. So I integrate with G29 gaming wheel. And you can integrate with custom hardware. So you can imagine, easily imagine. So
What's the weather like today?
Thursday in Seattle, it'll be partly cloudy, with a high of 66 and a low of 50.
Text my wife that I'm coming home.
So, that's a message to wife saying, I'm coming home. Wanna send it or change it?
Send it.
Got it. Sending your message saying, I'm coming home.
So you can imagine, you can push the button on the steering wheel, you can activate voice interactions. Yeah, you can control the media, the car. And also you can mimic the situations that getting the call. So yeah, it is very helpful for user research purpose as well. Right. Yeah, last but not least, today we have released new version of ProtoPie, yeah, 6.1. So its highlight feature is Smart Jump. So I don't want to explain details today, but you should try. Yeah, you have a chance to try. So, right. That's all I prepared today. And yeah, please leave your question in the Q&A panel if you have any questions or if you want to learn more about ProtoPie. All right, then I'm gonna pass microphone to another Yummy named Useberry. Hey, Theo, it's now your stage.
Thank you, Tony. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay, hello all. I'm Theo, co-founder of Useberry. We're beyond it excited about this integration and so happy you could join us. As many of you already know, Useberry is so much more than a user testing platform. To quote our website, we are a one-stop solution for user feedback, actionable insights, and user-centered decisions. We strive to provide a powerful and easy-to-use tool that will enable you and your team to put the customer first and create amazing digital products fast and efficiently. Useberry integrates with the biggest design and prototyping tools in the market. That is crucial for us, as we are dedicated to making our product better and offering our users a smooth workflow when testing their prototypes. And now we are adding website testing. You will be able to see and track all usability issues and identify patterns in how visitors engage with your website. You can find more information about this, and you can request to join our beta on our website. Our wide variety of testing methods gives you the power to customize your tests to match your goals at any time. From card sorting, tree testing, preference and first impression, to task-based prototype testing, all in one place. Creating tests with our blocks is super easy. You simply drag and drop. We have also the option to use that you can use our templates or even start your test from scratch. Let's move on now to the next stage of the process, which is putting your test out there and starting getting answers. We offer two ways. The first one being simply grabbing a link and sharing with the people you want, be it your users, your team, or even your friends. It's a fast and effortless way. The second option is our participants pool. You can now recruit high quality participants from 34 countries around the world and get answers in minutes. You can customize your pool using then more than 100 targeting attributes so that it matches your ideal target audience. Also gives you the flexibility to add multiple target audiences, test with various personas, and easily pause or resume when needed. Our users love this way of recruiting participants, and this is why all participants are vetted and monitored with frequent quality checks so that our users know they are not compromising data quality for speed. And now on to our favorite subject, the results. We offer both quantitative and qualitative results, as we find they are both important to the iterative design cycle and provide insights that can lead to well-informed decisions. Beginning with quantitative data, user flows allow you to see how your users navigate through your prototype and detect bottlenecks and drop-offs. Starting off by understanding user needs helps the product team build a user flow and an experience more tuned to those needs. With our metrics, you can easily see how much time your users took with each block, because as we all know, time matters. Going through the participants' responses can give you the answers. So all you have to do is to come up with questions. Heat maps are an amazing tool, a very helpful tool. Having your users' actions be visualized and being able to analyze them can show you exactly what works and what doesn't. That way, you can make the necessary changes and have the hard data to back them up. We got inspired by our integration with ProtoPie, and we are introducing a new feature called interactive clicks. Classic heat maps and click maps cannot capture all click interactions when you're working on a realistic interactive prototype. You have now access to any click made on every element of your prototype. And now let's move on to our qualitative results. Session recordings has been one of our most popular features since day one. Nothing can beat watching your users' navigation through your test. So based on that thought, we have now created video shoots they let you not only capture your user screen, but also their voices and their faces. So seeing the reactions while they interact with your prototype can be extremely useful. And when, for example, using a tool like ProtoPie, that helps you create amazing realistic prototypes. That's it from me. Thank you everyone for the time. And now I'm passing the microphone to Darren. Darren?
Great, thanks, Tia. Hey guys, share my screen here. Okay, so hey everyone, my name is Darren, and I run the ProtoPilot YouTube channel, which is a great place to find out everything you need to know about how to use ProtoPie. I'm also a practicing designer, so most recently I've been working with Microsoft, helping them to prototype with ProtoPie Windows 11, so a whole operating system, which is pretty cool. And in this demo, I'm going to focus on some key areas and aspects of the ProtoPie and Useberry integration. Just some things to help you get started. In this demo, we're going to look at how we build a basic test. And at the end, we'll look at some of the results so you can see what you're going to get back once your test is complete. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to play the demo.
Okay, so we want to set up a test to get some feedback on this video streaming app that we have here. So as you can see, participants will be able to freely navigate around the app effectively as they would with a real app. And some of the things that we want to test with this prototype is whether the users know where to go to download a video to watch later, and also whether they know where to find that video once it's been downloaded. Okay, so that's what we want to test. So let's jump over to Useberry and get things started. So I've got my Useberry dashboard over here in this second tab. So I've logged into my Useberry account and I'm in my workspace. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to come over and I want to set up a new project. So when you create a project, you get access to a number of task templates. And there are three types of tasks that are relevant to use with ProtoPie. So the first one we're going to look at is the single task. So single tasks are really good for focus on something specific like a user journey that has a very defined beginning and end. And in this type of task, you can map success pathways and end screens to complete the test. We also have multiple tasks. So multiple tasks, which as you might guess, are a collection of single tasks that run concurrently. You might use this if you have a test of related tasks or maybe a multivariate test that you want to run. And then finally, we have Open Analytics. So Open Analytics gives the participant free rein to explore whilst we can still have this ability to set them specific tasks that they need to complete. Okay, so the main difference between single and multiple tasks and Open Analytics is that the former rely on the prototype being built with ProtoPie scenes, whereas Open Analytics allows us to build the prototype however we wish to. There are some other things to consider when deciding in which route to go, but this is mainly around what type of data insights you want and how you want to structure your tasks. Open Analytics tests don't have a defined end, nor can you set success pathways or end screens to end tasks. As we'll see, it's up to the participant to end the task when they think they're done. So today we're just going to focus on the Open Analytics task. Okay, so let's get started. Let's select the Open Analytics task template. Okay, so before we commit to this template, you can see we got a little bit of information here. So the sort of blocks that are included in the template and some usages over here. So we're just going to click Use Template. Okay, so once we've selected the template, we're dropped into the Create section here. And this is where we construct our test. So in Useberry, we construct tests by building blocks. So you can see over here on the left-hand column here, we've obviously chosen the Open Analytics test template. So it's already dropped in a few blocks for us, but we can effectively customize these blocks, deleting and adding more blocks as we see fit. Okay, so let's start doing a little bit of customization. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove this welcome screen. I'm going to kick off this test with a slightly different block. So I'm just going to delete this. And there's two ways we can add blocks to our test. We can hit this contextual add button here. So that's going to add the block where we tap the button. We've also got an add block button down here at the bottom. So we're just going to tap this button here and we're going to add a context screen. Okay, so I've got my context screen added here. I'm just going to drag and drop that just above the Open Analytics screen. I want this to run after the intro screen. And I want to basically select that context screen. Okay, so we're going to start adding some text in here. So I'm just going to call this instructions. And we can give some context. This is where we're going to give the context for the overall test. I've already got some pre-prepared text. Save you having to watch me type a lot of text in, which is no fun for anybody. So I'm just going to paste that in there. And you can see over on the right hand side, we've got a preview effectively of what the participant is going to see. Okay, so that's all we need to do in this context screen block. Next, we're going to move over to the Open Analytics block. And this is where we set up our prototype and all of our tasks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this Add Prototype button. And as you can see, I kind of get dropped into this library of prototypes that I've added previously. You can see a number of Pi files that I've already added. In this instance, we're going to add a brand new prototype. So I'm going to hit the New Prototype button. And I'm then dropped into the integrations that Useberry supports. Obviously, we're interested today in the ProtoPie integration, so I'm going to tap that one. And you can see as soon as I've tapped it, Useberry gives me these instructions of how to integrate my Pi file with Useberry. So you can see that I need to go over to my ProtoPie cloud and grab the URL of my Pi file. So I'm going to come back to my tab where I had my Pi file loaded here. And there's something we need to do before we copy the URL. We need to change the access settings. So we just need to make sure that you've got can view anyone with the link is selected effectively. So normally you're going to have only team members probably by default. So just make sure you've got anyone with the link selected and make sure you save those settings. Okay, so with that done, we can now tap the Share Pi button. And as per normal, you can manipulate the different settings here. You can turn touch hinting on or off. Whatever you need to do, you can do here before you hit copy link. So we're just going to leave it at the defaults and I'm going to copy the link. Okay, so I'm going to come back to my Useberry dashboard and I just need to paste the URL of my Pi file in this box here. So I'm just going to paste that in and tap import. Okay, so Useberry is now going to import our prototype. So here it is importing. It's going to appear over here on the right hand side. Okay, so there it is loading in. So there you go. You can see the prototype ready on the right hand side. So just to draw your attention over to the left hand side here, so you can see the name of our Pi file here. We've also got a sync button. So if you happen to want to make some changes to your Pi file, you can just come back to your tests and you can hit the sync button. It's going to resync the Pi file, make sure you've got those changes in place. It also picks up the size of the Pi file, so you don't need to worry about that. All I need to do now is enter the instructions for my test. And again, I've got some text that I pre-baked earlier. So I'm just going to grab that. I've got a couple of tasks here. Just going to paste that in this box here. Okay, so the next thing is the starting screen. So by default, Useberry will always choose the first scene. Just so happens in this prototype, I've only got one scene, so we're good to go with that. We don't need to do anything there. But one of the things that I said previously is that because within a Open Analytics test, we can't define a specific end screen to end the task, we're kind of relying on the user, the participant, to know when they're finished and decide for themselves when they want the task to end. So to do that, we're going to turn on this extras button and we can effectively, there'll be a button on the screen, you'll see it when I run the test, there'll be a button on the screen where the user can say, I'm done. But we can affect the label of that button. So we're just going to put task completed. There you go. So that's going to be on the button so the participant end the task when they think they're done. Okay, so that's all we need to do to set up our test. So we could just preview it here. So if you want to preview the test, you can do. You're not going to get any analytics when you preview the test. That's really good if you're just testing things out, making sure they're working properly. I want to get some analytics, so we're just going to go straight to start testing so I can show you some of the analytics you're going to get off the back of this. So I'm going to hit the Start Testing button. I'm going to come down here to grab your link. I'm going to tap that, and I'm just going to make this link active, and I'm just going to copy it. Okay, so let's just open up another tab and paste this link in. I'm going to load up our test. So here we are in our test. So I'm going to tap Get Started. Here we get our initial instructions. So I'm going to hit Continue. Just wait for our prototype to load here. Okay, so there it is loading in. Okay, so we get our task instructions here. So I've got 2 tasks to complete. Okay, yep, got that. So even when I've tapped that, you can see that the task instructions stay on screen all the time, so I can just refer back to them if I need to. Okay, so task 1 here, where would I go to download a video to watch offline? So let's have a look around. Ooh, where could it be? Okay, let's try in here. Actually, let's go down here actually. So nothing's downloaded, okay. Let's go in here, let's try in here. Okay, so there's a download button here I can see, so I'm just going to press that, see what happens. Okay, looks like my video is downloading, that's cool. And because this is a ProtoPie prototype, it's an advanced prototype, I can still move around, have a look around, come back in here. It's still running in the background here for me. Okay, just wait for that to finish loading. Okay, so it looks like that's downloaded. Okay, so it looks like the first task is complete. So I've got a task 2, so where would I go to find the downloaded video? Okay, so let's have a look. So I'm going to back out here. I think I saw a download section earlier, so I think it was this button, so I'm just going to press that. Oh, it was empty before, but now it's not, and I can see this is where my video has landed. So yeah, that's probably where I would go to get the download. Cool, so I think I'm done here. I'm going to hit task completed. Yes, I'm absolutely sure. Okay, so my test has now ended, and yeah, that's it. I've finished my test. So we can go back to the Useberry dashboard, just going to see what the results look like. So I'm going to click over to my results tab here. Okay, so here's the results from my test. Obviously, we only ran 1 test, so we're only going to get 1 participant result. So you can see a whole bunch of information here. I'm just going to skip to some of the more interesting ones. So we can see the Open Analytics block is where we mainly interacted with. I'm going to open the results for this. And we've got a number of things that we can look at. So I particularly like the click tracking. So I'm just going to go in and view the click tracking. And we got a number of different types of click tracking we can do. So we can see heat maps of where everybody's been tapping, and we can navigate down the left-hand side here for different screens, see the heat maps on different screens. Another one that I particularly like is interactive clicks. So this is almost like following the breadcrumbs. So the prototype's going to load as it did for the user, and I'm going to be able to interact with the prototype. But the difference being I'm going to see where the users tap, so I can effectively follow the breadcrumbs. So it looks like, yeah, they've obviously scrolled across here. There's a lot of taps going on here. Let's click in here, and I can see, oh yeah, they hit the download button. So that's a really interesting set of insights for me. So I'm just going to come out of this. So what else can I see? So I can see user flows. So I can see the pathway the user took through the prototype, which is incredibly useful. And then one of my favorites, way down here at the bottom, for sessions, there's a play recording button. So I'm just going to tap that. And this is effectively going to play me a video of the participant taking the test. So I can skip to where all the dots are. That's effectively where all the action's happening. So I can now actually see how the user has been interacting with the prototype. So I can see where the hesitations are, where they're moving around to. So I find this incredibly interesting to view.
Okay, so as you can see, the ProtoPie integration definitely makes it easier to test advanced prototypes and features and gets us some real quality data back. And I definitely recommend you download Useberry and ProtoPie, get a free trial and give it a go. Okay, so that's it from me. Over to you, Zoe.
Thank you, Darren. Give me just a moment, everybody. So, Darren, that was amazing. Thank you so much for showing us this. And now let's move on to the Q&A section. Kind reminder to everyone to put the questions in the Q&A section and not in the chat. And let's go to the first question. The first question that we have is from Simon and is, can we use ProtoPie to test VR projects? for example, for Oculus. And Tony is taking over and replying to this one.
Right. You guys need this one, right? Actually, our engineers are so it's quite heavy. Our engineers are making effort to make this happen on the VR AR function, VR AR gears. So technically, it is possible to install the ProtoPie and Android ProtoPie player, within the Oculus VR gear. So at this moment, however, we are exploring how we can improve the VR experience using ProtoPie. So this item is on our bucket list. So but I cannot guarantee when it will be happen. But I would say our engineering team is heavily pushing it. So probably in this year you guys can try for VR gears. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. That was great. Moving on to the next question, that is from Lucas. I see here, what are the differences between shoots and session recs? Theo, if you can take this one, please.
Thank you, Zoe. Lucas, yes, this is a very interesting question. Thank you for this. Session recordings are ideal when you are interested to watch the user journey on the test. It helps you focus more on their navigation and what actually they did on the test. On the other hand, the video shoots are based on another logic. They are ideal if you want to watch what the testers see by sharing their screens. But at the same time, you can see the reactions and the audio comments they make.
Thank you, Theo. Moving on to the next question. I see one from Monica. She says, hey, amazing presentation. I would like to know about the video shoot of the user while is performing the task. Is it available already? Yes, Monica, that one is actually available at the moment in Useberry. We have so many questions here, and moving on to Tatiana's question. She asks, can I use ProtoPie to test IoT products, example, trigger animations with physical buttons? Tony, would you be the one to answer this one, I think?
So could you, in order to give the right answer, please elaborate the context of your use case. In general, at this moment, it's a little bit hard to get the result. But however, we promise, Useberry and ProtoPie can collaborate together, to make this happen. Please elaborate your use case on the Q&A panel. Then I can give you the right answer. Make sense?
It does. Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. Tatiana, please let us know. I see one from Savindya. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. So I think this one is for Useberry, and it says, can't we add instruction for each screen? The context here, Theo, is for each screen when you're creating a test with a ProtoPie prototype. If you could please respond to this one.
Let me see. Yes, we have a specific block you can use while creating your test. It's called context screen. So you can add this block before every block that contains a prototype from ProtoPie, for example. I
Great.
hope
Thank
this
you,
answers
Theo.
the question of,
Yes, that is good. Moving on to another one from another Lucas. Is Useberry built for collaboration? Can I work with my team? Theo, it's you again.
It's me again, okay? Yeah. Okay, Useberry, yes, Useberry enables collaboration between team members. So we offer two different ways for that. Firstly, we offer the team plan, where team members can work together on the same workspace and share the same test elements, for example, prototypes, designs, etc. All team members have access to all projects that belongs to the team's workspace. We have also another feature for smaller type of collaborations. We call it collaborators. And this allows you to invite people to a specific project in your workspace. So it may be very useful when, for example, you want to invite a stakeholder or an analyst to review together the results of the test.
Thank you, Theo. Moving on to the next question. I'm sorry, Theo, there are a ton of questions for Useberry here that I see. So I'm going to Ramsey's question, and it says, will Useberry record the different gestures a user might do in a mobile app, like pinch, zooming in and out, or swiping? Theo, will you please let us know?
Yeah. By recording, if you mean that we can have the session recording or the shoot from the test, yes.
Okay, great. So that would be the shoot, and it would regard any gestures that the user might do on the screen.
Yeah. Also, the gestures and the taps and the clicks, everything are presented when you are watching the session recording. So you can see in every time block what happens there.
Great, thank you. I see one question from Nguyen, and it says, when building high fidelity prototypes, I find building the entire prototype on a single scene to have the proper interactions and animations. Have you, Useberry, looked into making simple and multiple tasks analytics on a single scene? I believe that this one is a bit more complicated to explain, but Theo, please go ahead.
Yeah, right now, when you're working with scenes, task-based blocks are working perfectly, and is now very near future plans to expand it also to triggers. So right now, working with triggers, the best option is to work with the Open Analytics.
Great, thank you so much. Next question is from John. It says, regarding testing with participants on their mobile device. At my company, a lot of testing is moderated, and UX researchers are very much against testing mobile screens on desktop computers for obvious reasons. With this, we have a lot of frictions sharing prototypes into the tools that look like Lookback, Dscout, etc. in their website browsers. The browsers can be janky and don't support everything a prototype does. Also, there is a browser Chrome that steals real estate from the prototype, which is scaled down. Does or is Useberry's mobile testing capabilities unique compared to other tools on the market? Thank you. Theo, if you could take this one again.
Yeah. Yes, right now tests on Useberry are web-based, but stay tuned. We have very near future plans and very excited plans to expand the testing capabilities with Useberry.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Teo. Bear with me one moment. So many questions coming in. So I have a question here from JH. Can we get a participant information using survey before or after? This one, again, I think is for Useberry, and the answer is actually yes. But Teo, go ahead.
Yes, this is possible. You can use our questions block. So you can ask anything you might want to know about your participant before or after the test.
Perfect. Thank you. We do have many questions here, so we will answer any questions that we don't have time to answer here moving forward, and we will also be able to answer questions through social media or anything else. Let's take one last one, and that would be a question from Bill, I see here. Will website testing support interactive clicks?
Suppose I'm again, huh? Yeah. Currently, interactive clicks are only available with ProtoPie, and of course, it will be available with website testing. And we are so excited about this.
That is amazing. Great. Thank you for all of the questions. We will continue answering them. Let's move on to. So here you can see our social media. You can please feel free to reach out and ask any more questions that you have there as well. We'll be happy to answer. Okay, great. I want to thank everybody for everything they have shared today. Thank you, Shannon and Tony and Teo and Darren. And I hope this was informative. Thank you, everybody. And thank you all for joining us in this webinar. We hope to see you in the next one as well.